Gloria Swanson's $500,000 diamond collection. When the queen of the silent screen wanted to sparkle, she did it in diamonds worth $500,000. In the 1920s, Gloria Swanson stood as one of the most glamorous and influential actresses in Hollywood. Her films like Sadie Thompson and The Trespasser made her a household name, and her beauty appeal became synonymous with the extravagance of the Roaring Twenties. But Swanson's love for luxury extended far beyond the movie set. Known for her opulent lifestyle, she amassed one of the most talked-about diamond collections in Hollywood, valued at over $500,000 at the time, which translates to nearly $8 million today. Her collection wasn't merely decorative. Swanson's diamonds were a statement of power, wealth, and studio-backed stardom. In an era when the film industry crafted icons with unattainable allure, Swanson embodied that fantasy shimmering in jewels that reflected both her fame and the excess of the time. According to contemporary reports from Photoplay magazine and archived interviews, Swanson's collection featured rare European brooches, diamond-encrusted tiaras, and a custom-cut necklace from the renowned jeweler Cartier. Each piece was carefully chosen, often imported from Paris or commissioned specifically for her public appearances. Her obsession with diamonds even made headlines internationally. In 1925, British tabloids referred to Swanson as Hollywood's Diamond Empress, citing the breathtaking necklace she wore to the premiere of Madame Saint-Jean in London. Reflecting on her collection in later years, Swanson remarked, "If you're going to play royalty on screen, you may as well sparkle like one off-screen too." Her love for jewels wasn't purely vanity, it was a calculated extension of her image. Studios like Paramount heavily promoted Swanson's glamour, understanding that her off-screen lifestyle only fueled public fascination. William Randolph Hearst's $30 million Ilion San Simeon estate. It started as a quiet retreat and became a palace fit for kings, queens, and Hollywood's biggest stars. In the pantheon of extravagant spending, few names resonate quite like William Randolph Hearst. Though not an actor, Hearst's influence on Hollywood and his mind-boggling wealth made him a central figure in Tinseltown's most lavish circles. In the early 20th century, Hearst was already a publishing giant, controlling one of the largest newspaper empires in the world. His appetite for grandeur, however, extended beyond headlines and into real estate. Most famously, the sprawling San Simeon estate perched atop California's coastal hills. Construction of San Simeon, known as La Cuesta Encantada, or the Enchanted Hill, began in 1919. Hearst spared no expense, enlisting famed architect Julia Morgan to bring his vision to life. Over the next 3 decades, he poured an estimated $30 million into the project, equivalent to nearly $500 million today. The result? A private estate, so vast and elaborate that it defied belief. The main building, known as Casa Grande, featured 56 bedrooms, 61 bathrooms, 19 sitting rooms, opulent libraries, and world-class art galleries. Hearst imported entire ceilings from European castles, Renaissance paintings, Greek statues, and ancient Egyptian artifacts. But San Simeon wasn't just about bricks and mortar. It became the playground for Hollywood's elite. Stars like Charlie Chaplin, Clark Gable, Cary Grant, and Jean Harlow were frequent guests. Marion Davies' $7 million Santa Monica Beach Palace. When it came to seaside luxury, Hollywood's most talked-about hostess reigned supreme in a mansion bigger than most hotels. Among the many grand figures of Hollywood's golden age, Marion Davies remains one of the most fascinating, not only for her magnetic screen presence, but for the opulence that surrounded her off-screen life. Born Marion Cecilia Duras, Davies rose from modest beginnings to become a celebrated actress in the silent film era, known for her comedic timing and undeniable beauty appeal. But her relationship with newspaper magnate William Randolph Hearst thrust her into an entirely different realm, one defined by luxury, status, and extraordinary wealth. Perhaps the most extravagant symbol of their shared fortune was Davies' oceanfront estate in Santa Monica, California, a property so vast and lavish, it was often mistaken for a hotel. Completed in 1929, the sprawling mansion stretched across prime beachfront real estate, covering an entire city block along Pacific Coast Highway, costing an estimated $7 million at the time, the equivalent of over $120 million today. the estate was a marvel of architecture, grandeur, and excess. Designed by renowned architect Julia Morgan, the same visionary behind Hearst Castle, the mansion featured 100 rooms, including 55 bedrooms, grand dining halls, multiple ballrooms, and meticulously manicured gardens. Its sprawling grounds included tennis courts, ornate fountains, and private beach access. But beyond its sheer scale, what made the estate legendary was its role as Hollywood's most coveted party destination. Davies, known for her wit and charm, became the hostess of the era, entertaining stars like Charlie Chaplin, Greta Garbo, Clark Gable, Cary Grant, and Jean Harlow. The mansion's roaring parties were the stuff of tabloid fascination. Guests dined under crystal chandeliers, danced to live orchestras, and sipped champagne beside saltwater swimming pools, all within sight of the Pacific. A 1930s headline in the Los Angeles Times declared, "Marlene Dietrich's $4 million Ilian couture wardrobe." When it came to glamour, Marlene Dietrich didn't just set trends, she turned fashion into an empire of extravagance. Marlene Dietrich, the German-born star who conquered Hollywood in the 1930s, became synonymous with timeless beauty appeal, bold fashion, and androgynous style. Her performances in films like Morocco and Shanghai Express catapulted her to international fame. But it was her wardrobe that made headlines worldwide. Dietrich wasn't merely dressing for the cameras, she built a fashion empire so elaborate, it reportedly cost over $4 million in today's currency across her lifetime. Known for her preference for custom couture, Dietrich collaborated with legendary designers such as Travis Banton, Edith Head, and Christian Dior. Her collection included fur coats of rare Russian sable, bespoke evening gowns dripping with crystals, and tailored tuxedos that redefined femininity in Hollywood. At the height of her fame, Dietrich's clothing budget reportedly rivaled that of entire studio productions. Her closets overflowed with hand-stitched garments, and she famously traveled with over 70 custom-made trunks, each containing perfectly curated ensembles. Photoplay magazine dubbed her the woman whose wardrobe could bankroll a movie, while Vogue described Dietrich as a walking exhibition of elegance and audacity. Her penchant for luxury extended beyond fabric. Dietrich was known for owning diamond-studded cigarette cases, platinum accessories, and the iconic topaz jewelry she often wore on screen and in public appearances. But behind the spectacle was the intention. Dietrich used fashion as armor, crafting an image that challenged conventions, defied gender norms, and cemented her legacy as one of cinema's most glamorous, enigmatic icons. Charlie Chaplin's $1.5 million Beverly Hills mansion. The tramp made millions laugh, but behind the comedy was a mansion as grand as a palace. Charlie Chaplin, the man behind the iconic Little Tramp, became one of the most recognizable and wealthiest entertainers of the silent film era. With classics like The Kid, The Gold Rush, and City Lights, Chaplin amassed not only fame, but a personal fortune that afforded him a lifestyle as remarkable as his on-screen characters. In the 1920s, as his stardom skyrocketed, Chaplin purchased an estate in Beverly Hills, so extravagant, it became a symbol of silent-era success. Costing an estimated $1.5 million at the time, roughly $25 million today, the mansion reflected both his artistic ambition and his appetite for grandeur. Located in the prestigious Beverly Hills Flats neighborhood, the sprawling property featured manicured gardens, reflecting pools, and private screening rooms. The mansion's architecture blended European influences with high archways, ornate fireplaces, and grand staircases designed to rival the chateaux of France. Chaplin, who had risen from poverty in London to global superstardom, often described the estate as a dream I never thought possible. The grounds included guest houses, private tennis courts, stables, and extensive gardens filled with exotic plants and imported marble statues. But beyond its beauty, the mansion became a hub for Hollywood's most influential figures. Chaplin frequently hosted dignitaries, filmmakers, and international celebrities, including Albert Einstein, who once visited the estate after the two struck up an unlikely friendship. According to period reports in the Los Angeles Times, Chaplin's home was a sanctuary of artistic vision and unprecedented luxury. John Barrymore's $2 million Bella Vista estate. The great profile wasn't content with just fame, he built a private kingdom in the hills. John Barrymore, one of the most celebrated actors of his generation, was known for his magnetic stage presence, striking profile, and larger-than-life persona. Dubbed the Great Profile by the press, Barrymore's Shakespearean performances and film roles in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Grand Hotel earned him fame and fortune, and with that came extravagance. In the late 1920s, at the height of his career, Barrymore purchased land in Beverly Hills and set about building Bella Vista, a sprawling, castle-inspired estate that quickly became legendary in Hollywood circles. The property, perched high in the Benedict Canyon Hills, cost an estimated $2 million to complete, nearly $35 million in today's terms. Inspired by European architecture, Bella Vista combined Spanish colonial influences with Gothic flourishes, including grand archways, turrets, and carved stone facades. Inside, the mansion boasted vaulted ceilings, mahogany-paneled libraries, hand-painted murals, and imported Italian marble fireplaces. But Barrymore's vision extended beyond architecture. The estate's grounds featured lush terraced gardens, reflecting pools, an aviary, and private stables. His wine cellar was reputed to hold over 10,000 bottles, a testament to his legendary indulgences. Dolores Del Rio's $1 million Art Deco drive, Eam home. Hollywood's most glamorous export didn't just make history on screen. She built an architectural masterpiece that still stuns the city. Dolores Del Rio, the Mexican-born actress who broke barriers in Hollywood, wasn't just celebrated for her beauty appeal and screen presence. She became a symbol of style, sophistication, and cross-cultural stardom during the Golden Age. Rising to fame in the late 1920s and 30s with films like Ramona and Flying Down to Rio, Del Rio captivated audiences with her elegance and grace. But away from the cameras, she made headlines for an extraordinary purchase: a custom-built Art Deco mansion in Santa Monica, a home so modern and luxurious it epitomized the glamour of her era. Designed in 1929 by Cedric Gibbons, the home embodied bold geometric lines, expansive glass walls, and sleek curves characteristic of the Art Deco movement. It became one of California's first and most iconic examples of modernist residential architecture. The project reportedly cost over $1 million to complete, an immense fortune for the time, equivalent to more than $17 million today. Situated in the hills overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the home boasted floor-to-ceiling windows, sunken living spaces, custom tile mosaics, and exotic hardwood interiors. Howard Hughes' $23 million Spruce Goose, the plane that couldn't fly far. For most stars, extravagance meant jewels and mansions, but Howard Hughes built a flying machine so massive it became legend. Howard Hughes wasn't just a filmmaker and studio mogul, he was a pioneer of aviation, a billionaire recluse, and one of the most eccentric, extravagant figures in Hollywood history. By the late 1930s, Hughes had already made headlines for producing epic films like Hell's Angels and The Outlaw, but his most infamous indulgence wasn't cinematic, it was airborne. In 1942, Hughes embarked on building what was officially known as the Hughes H-4 Hercules, a colossal aircraft designed to transport troops and equipment during World War II. But thanks to its size and wooden construction, the press dubbed it the Spruce Goose, though it was actually built from birch. Originally budgeted at $3 million, the project spiraled to over $23 million, roughly $400 million. Today, with Hughes personally investing over $7 million of his own fortune into its completion. The plane was an engineering marvel, 218 feet long, with a wingspan of 320 feet, making it the largest aircraft ever constructed at the time. It could theoretically carry 750 troops or 2 Sherman tanks, yet its wooden frame led skeptics to dismiss it as an impossible vanity project. When WWII ended before the plane's completion, public criticism mounted. Congress investigated the project, accusing Hughes of wasting money. Hughes famously defended himself, stating, "I put the sweat of my life into this thing. I have my reputation rolled up in it." In 1947, the Spruce Goose made its only flight a short 1-mile hop over Long Beach Harbor, proving it could fly, albeit briefly. Despite its limited flight, the Spruce Goose became a symbol of audacious ambition. Hughes's obsessive spending and determination to complete the project, even after military demand vanished, solidified his status as both a genius and an eccentric.